Revisiting past failures to find out why they happened can be hard. Sometimes it's something we have no control over. But what's holding a lot of people back is the inability to self-assess, which is a shame because if you can nail down why you died to something you can control, that'll be one step closer to preventing it from happening again. Let's get to it. Welcome to my Why You Died series. I break down all kinds of fights from solo versus solo, duos versus trios, trios being third-partied, and all the others in between, trying to point out what went right and what went wrong, in an effort to educate anyone interested. If you're looking for a more general PvP guide, I have one you can check out and I'll leave a link down below. The benefit of recording my own gameplay is that I get to re-watch myself make mistakes and hopefully learn from them afterwards.
Watched a lot of retarded people. Spent time with them, observed them, watched all the retarded stuff they did.
Today's scenario is us getting into a fight by getting initiated on, and then during that fight, another team shows up. Which sounds familiar to a lot of you, I'm sure. To set the stage, this fight takes place in Buried City, on the highway and adjacent buildings southeast of the Grandioso Apartments. Key terrain features to consider is the large gap between these sets of buildings, ensuring that the only real fast way to either side is the highway, and the very tall apartment buildings that can overwatch the entire space. With the setup laid out, let's get rolling.
Your foot's over here, top of the buildings. Okay.
He's so low by the bus.
Got him.
Shielding.
One flared. Almost full again. Team is looking for a res. Cracked them.
Coming to you.
Both two flared.
Coming to you.
Focus on the one on the roof.
Watch to the left.
Up here.
I'm fine.
Throwing a nade.
Behind us too, guys.
Okay.
Cracked.
Oh, we shot him.
Flared.
Good shots. Watch out behind now.
We'll just watch
I see over
behind.
here.
Yeah, I'm gonna finish this guy off real quick. Okay, so the theme of this episode is gonna be jobs. You don't need matching uniforms or a coordinated entrance to pull this off, just basic awareness. What is your job at this exact moment in a fight? This is completely based on what your position and health looks like in relation to your teammates' health and position and on the enemy's possible health and position. Grubbs gets initiated on, and we know based on his callouts just prior to this that the enemy is much closer to him than to Blasto and myself. Blasto and I have one job at that exact moment: apply counter pressure. This is to ensure that whatever the enemy is going to try to do to follow up on Grubbs is going to have enough pressure placed on them that they're not able to do so without consequence. Our counter pressure ensured that they also had a teammate close to death, effectively neutralizing any potential advantage they had. The moment we drew fire, we ducked down to not take too much damage. This allowed us to continue to be ready to maintain the threat level. Grubb's job at this point is to 1. Play his life, and 2. Maintain eyes and ears to deliver information. Speaking of which, I would be willing to bet very good money that this enemy that initiated on Grubbs was screaming into his mic,
"Bro, he's one shot, trust me, he's one shot!"
And to be fair, he really was. I mean, a gentle breeze from a rat's fart would have killed him at this point, but his teammate decided to completely silhouette himself in an effort to finish Grubbs off based on that information. Consider that at this exact moment, the teams were even in terms of player health, cover, and players down to low health. Even though they were better positioned with each other, some type of utility or counterfire needed to be applied prior in order for this kind of push to be successful. He gets hurt so bad that Grubbs is able to finish him off. Afterwards, even though it's obvious, Grubbs remind us, 1 flared. This is a great reminder. We have the advantage, we have a second to heal, and ready up for our next move. And it was at this exact moment that the initiative shifted in our favor. Even though the first enemy with the Torrente is close to or finished healing by this point, he's going to be tied up trying to revive the second enemy, leaving the third enemy on the roof to hold pressure against the 3 of us. Understanding all of this, we hit the gas. Blasto tosses a nade, Grubbs, having healed up, peeks to put fire down, and that's my cue to follow up on whatever happens next. Grubbs flares the second enemy while he's trying to go for a revive on top of the roof, and during the push, Blasto calls out we're being third-partied and is engaged. His job now is to play his life. So, being the only full health team member, I know my job is to finish the original fight as fast as I can. I call out the enemy shield is broken. Grubs, being relatively healthy, again peeks to add on to my fire. I take up the enemy's position to secure his body for meds, as well as a good firing position to counter the new team's push. Before we get into the third party fight, if you're enjoying the content, leave a like, and I'd like to ask you to consider hitting the subscribe and notification button as well. Thank you so much for your consideration, and now back to the video.
On the bridge, on the bridge, on the bridge.
Healing? I'm hiding.
Northeast. You're
Healing,
good.
healing.
Cracked him. Hit him once. No shield. Taking a quick bandage. He's right behind, still on mark.
Throwing an aid.
I don't know if they...
Cracked him again.
Zipline. Back up.
Another person down here, down here, down here. In the window.
Hey, to my right, yeah.
Oh, down here, down here.
Crack the guy in the window. Oh,
Oh, got
down.
fired.
A whole nother team, man.
Nice, but
Alright,
get up off the
this
zipline.
guy.
Come back, come back, come back.
I flared one.
I'm stripping him from meds and I'm leaving. Alright,
Yeah. Back on the zipline.
yeah, coming.
I don't know if that's smart.
That's what I did. I can cover.
I need meds off one of these guys, so I'm gonna loot.
Bandaging. Blast, that's all you right now, okay?
Yeah. Watching you guys.
So play safe.
I'm dead. Oh my god.
Ping
Right
if
on
you
me.
can.
Like, right on me.
Up top. Hold on. Hold on.
I don't see him.
Top on the roof. He's pushing right.
I think I flared him.
You did.
Okay, at this point, it's a potentially precarious position. Blasto had been brought low, so his job was to play his life, eyes and ears, as he's hiding under the highway. Grubs, being fully healed and in the best firing position to prevent a push, maintained a base of fire while calling out enemy positions. I provided grenade and fire lane coverage while I waited for my health to go up. Hearing movement to my right, I'm looking to see if I can spot a flank. I made the mistake by over-peeking, but by shifting to the right, I denied the enemy his cover and applied counter pressure. At this point, Blasto is firmly placed on the apartments, overwatching the enemy position. Grubs flaring one, and with a bombardier possibly aggroed on the new team, now is an excellent time to rally together. I strip the nearby body for meds and run back to Grubs as fast as I can. I let Blasto know that he's by himself at this moment. In the chaos of a fight, it's good to remind your teammates of things that would normally be obvious. It helps to focus them on what their job is. In this case, he's both playing his life and providing counter pressure. He doesn't need to consistently peek or do damage. However, by just being in such an advantageous position, he keeps the enemy limited in their movement. This also has to be tempered by the fact that we are in no position to help him if he gets downed. Grubs makes the mistake by going to look for previous bodies in an effort to get meds after I had just finished doing the same. The safer play here would be for me to drop some meds for him while he remained in a safe position, or at the very least waited for me to be full HP to help cover him, but he was already on his way when he made the call. He gets caught by one of the flanking enemies. He crawls his way to safety in order to force an overextension to finish, and Blasto uses his position to force the enemy off of the roof. Had I paid better attention to Blasto's pings and Grubs not giving out the comms, he's right on me, the fight I had trying to get to Grubs wouldn't have been so close. I started to heal, used eyes and ears to judge if another player was coming, and when I believed I had a moment, I got Grubs up. At this point, Blasto was able to judge he was safe enough to rally back to our position. Being the first to full health, I climb up to the top to keep an eye out for anyone while my team heals and loots. Okay, so some major mistakes were made by the two enemy teams that I believed contributed heavily to the results of this fight, that the terrain had a huge impact on. The first team's initiation was somewhat nullified by our counter pressure. They had one of our team members low and in a position that would have made it really hard for us to get to him if he was downed. This enemy would have been able to cut him down if Grubs ran out or put pressure on us if he tried to push up. They had grenades, and the cover needed to wait until their teammate was healed. They could have even displaced and re-engaged from a superior position, being the buildings behind them. Ultimately, it was the over-aggression in the face of failing to get that first kill is what started to unravel the whole situation. What would have this fight looked like if Grubs wasn't an absolute menace to bring down?
I guess we'll never know.
The second team didn't consider the terrain in their approach and separated way too much while trying to mount an offensive maneuver. The one enemy that was flared was getting picked up by the second enemy, and so the third enemy wasn't in no position to be supported once he was engaged. All of the enemies seemed equipped and skillful enough to land shots when they needed to, but ultimately positioning and tempo control is what did them in. I hope this was helpful and entertaining. If you're looking for more Arc Raiders guides, check these videos out. Thank you to my channel supporters, with a special shout out to my Florida Man Alligator tiered supporters, the Tranimal and Spectre. Discord links and ways to support the channel down below. Thank you so much for watching till the end, and as always, good hunting.